Brick World Chicago. It's known for its fantastic mocks built by builders from across the world, as well as the many amazing friends that you'll meet along the way. But it is also the battleground for perhaps the most difficult LEGO challenge ever made. And that challenge is Dirty Buildster. So what is Dirty Buildster? Well, it's a mock building competition, but your mock is limited to have a maximum of 200 parts. But the twist is, those 200 parts come from the other competitors. This is how it works. When you come to the convention, you bring 2 bags of LEGO, each containing 100 individual LEGO pieces. Now, 20 of these pieces need to be normal basic bricks, to basically give your competitor some form of a chance. The other 80, however, is up to your wildest imagination. The idea is to use the most useless pieces that you have, just the weirdest pieces that you're never going to use, and you want to basically just torture someone else with. And that's basically the idea. You stand in a circle, and you basically get one bag from one random person, another bag from another random person, smash those 2 bags together, and try and create something half decent out of it. Will you succeed? Will you fail? There's only one way to find out when you open those bags and see what you've got. So, I wanted to compete in this. This was my first year doing it. I don't know how difficult you have to make it for the other person. And I, being the type of person I am, wanted to create the most difficult bag ever created. So here is the entire process of what I put inside that bag to create what I will be calling the hell bag of Dirty Buildster. I wanted to start them off with like a general starter piece with lots of snot pieces to build around from, sort of as a base. I wanted to throw in a figure as well, and I thought, what better if we're talking about useless things than Chima? And of course, sticking on that Chima theme, I've got an old speeder base as well as this old grey wheel. A couple of pieces I wanted to get rid of were these just obnoxiously big orange pieces from this old Exoforce set. Yeah, I have no use for these. I've never put them in a mock. Let's get rid of them. If they wanted to build a vehicle, I've got a couple of pieces to represent that, like a singular Speed Champions wheel or a steering wheel or a bike piece with no bike to go between it. Maybe they want to go with more of a police theme and pick some of these pieces, or just a random bucket. We're at part 21 if you're keeping count, so I have to include that, as well as a random little Mixels tile here. Of course I have to represent my favourite theme video with this little tile here. Hopefully that face will be a similar reaction to the person when they open this. Couple other random stickered pieces include this piece from Hidden Side, and I think that's a cat or a mouse, I don't know. Couple of Friends pieces here, they all seem generally just normal, so I thought I'd just put a random decapitated Friend's head in here as well, just to mix it up a bit, you know. A couple other random useless pieces include these Ninjago ones, a couple of stickered pieces, and then this Spinjitzu spinner. Yep, good luck putting that in a mock. You know, I use a lot more lime green than the average LEGO builder, but these are pieces that I'm just not gonna use. They're just awkward stickered parts. Speaking of parts that I won't use, I've got these old Bionicle pieces, like I think those legs are from just one of the old figures. Yep, just entirely pointless to me. I've got a couple of old Star Wars prints from the early 2000s, but I'm not going to use these, and I've only got one half of the wedge. Thought I'd represent Harry Potter as well with one of these old owl pieces and one of the purple tiles that I never really understood. Maybe they want to build a mech. Let's give them a Bionicle foot and a Knight's Kingdom foot. They don't match in any way, so good luck using them. A couple of just random construction pieces. Have at 'em, give them a go, with completely different methods of attachment on the back, which I've got nothing to connect to. Good luck. Maybe for their vehicle they want some windscreens on, so you can have these. Good luck placing them once again. I have no idea what this piece is on the left, but it says LEGO on the bottom, and this piece on the right is also LEGO. No idea where it's from. Maybe they want... I don't know why I'm giving them these pieces. Good. This is going to be impossible to build anything out of. That stair has literally no connection point at all. Like a Technic beam goes through that. There's nothing. I don't know what this thing is. There's like 5 different pieces here apparently. I don't know where it's from. This piece is like an old Exoforce engine or something, and then a pullback motor for a Technic car. Yeah, have fun using it. But just playing with these pieces, like, I've noticed this little fun connection, so I guess there is something you could do out of this. I promise this piece is Lego. It doesn't look like Lego, but it does have a part number on the bottom. I did a bit of research with it, and it's from this set here. I've never even heard of this theme. I don't know what's going on. How about some projectiles? What about a cannon shooter without the cannon? Or one of the 6-shooter flick-fire missile pieces? Maybe you can do something with this together? I don't know. Construction pieces, a Hero Factory helmet, and then just the chest piece from the moldable Chewbacca figure? I don't know what I'm doing. Capes, anyone? These count as pieces, I think. Have 2 of them. Why not? Just random themes, let's represent them. We've got a Mario shell and a Dimensions plate. I think this was Bart Simpson, so we can count Simpsons in here as well. I think we deserve to give them another figure, so here's just Steve. Say hi to Steve, everyone. At this point, it's just cruel. None of these 3 pieces of connection points to anything I've shown so far. I mean, good luck trying to use any of this. Let's represent a bit of Batman in here. We've got the mouth from the Mighty Micros piece and a Batwing. I've also decided to give them this, the Bat Pod from that polybag. This does count as a singular piece, so I guess you can build something out of that. Probably not, but have at it, it's a challenge. I did mention you do have to include 20 random bricks in here, so I gave them a bit of a chance. I put 4 of a couple of different types of bricks in here, of different sizes and different colors, but nothing that really matches with each other or anything like that, so maybe you can try and do something out of this. This is probably the closest things to an actual piece. I also just threw in a sticker sheet for this set for some reason. Now, sticker sheets don't count as pieces, so it doesn't count to my 100 parts total, but I guess they can just have it. And of course, my 100th piece had to have been the humble brick separator to destroy everything that this person ends up creating. And here they all are together. 100 pieces of Lego that some poor soul has to try and build a mock out of. I hope the other person has been kind to them and given them some pieces that connect to any of this. As I said at the beginning, I've never done this before, so I don't know if you're meant to torture the other person quite like I have. The thing is, they're not bad parts, they're just bad when put together, and you're not allowed anything else with them besides the other person's parts. So, good luck. You're gonna need it, because this is an impossible task. So yeah, let's pack this up and get it ready for Brick World. I did a time-lapse me try to fill this bag, but I filled the entire thing, and it's like literally I've still got 6 massive pieces left, so I'm gonna need a bigger bag. I almost completely forgot that I had to actually fill 2 bags, so this is the parts I put in the other one. It's a lot nicer. There's some actual color coordination going on here. You can see there's a lot of red, so hopefully whoever gets this bag is actually grateful somewhat. But I packed up these 2 bags into these Lego ones, and here I am at Brick World, ready to bring it to the Dirty Buildster competition. It was in this room where it all went down, and I was given a couple more insights on the rules.
No, you do not. You can use as many or as few as you want.
Does it all have to be one item, or?
No, right? They should be unified. You can think of it like building a set, right? So it could be a car and a tree and a figure. But there has to be some story linking them together. And midnight Saturday is the deadline.
Okay, with all the rules in place, it was time to swap the pieces. Oh, this was very exciting. So we all got out into the corridor and formed a large circle, trying to situate yourself between 2 people who had decent looking bags, and passed 1 to the left and 1 to the right. And before I knew it, my bag of hell parts was gone, and I was left with these 2 little bags instead.
Thank you, Roy.
And after that celebration, we all hurried away to find a little spot to ourselves so we can see what awaited us inside the bags. You could see these were the 2 bags I had here. One was clear that I could see inside, and one was hidden from me, so I decided to start off with the clear ones to see what we've got. So immediately I can see a lot of red bricks in here, which is good. It's all color coordinated. But suddenly, as I was checking through the bag, I noticed a lot of similar pieces in here. There was a lot of wheel axles. A lot of wheel axles. A hugely worrying amount of wheel axle pieces. Yes, this bag was entirely made out of Technic pins, red bricks, wheel brackets, and purple studs. At least it kind of is like not too many pieces to mess around with, but it's quite specific, you know. Hopefully this second bag will save me. Now, more information about who this bag came from later on in the video, but you can see we've got a good more colors. We've got some more red bricks, that's nice. I immediately noticed some Bionicle pieces, which is fun, because this is what, the owner of this blue bag is who I gave the hell bag to. So at least I was getting some Bionicle back for the person I gave Bionicle to. You can see there's also some Technic bricks in here, some tan, and a couple of wedge plates, which are quite nice. I had to make sure that I wasn't just given a bunch of left wedge plates or a bunch of right ones, but no, I did get some that actually matched up together, which was good. These ones were just left ones, but for the majority of the time they were quite good, so that's fine. So these were the 200 parts I had to work with. So later that night, while we were all chatting, it was time to get building. The first thing I wanted to do was once again null all the parts out, so I basically knew what I had, and before I knew it, I was already cooking. So we've got a Star Destroyer, that is... So we've got a Star Destroyer, that's 7 pieces. This was from Lauren's recommendation. This is quite good, so if everything else falls apart, we do have this to fall back on, but we're going to keep trying with what's left. So the Star Destroyer was immediately broken down, and I started to try and build something out of the remaining pieces after setting them all up. Now, in fairness to myself here, and this may sound like excuses, that's because they are, it was quite dark, so it was quite difficult to see what was going on. Also, as I said before, I had a huge group around me, we were chatting, we were having fun. There may or may not have been drinks involved, and that may or may not have led to some interesting choices. But here was all the parts that we had all together, all laid out, all 200 of them. Let's hope I can try and build something out of that. So I got to work. I knew I wanted to base this largely around the Bionicle pieces I had, so I took the big main green body piece and basically worked out from there. There was a piece that I thought somewhat looked like a face, so I kind of put that together with a couple of Technic bits here and there, and then came up with this little design. It's like some little robot or creature or something. It's got a big tongue sticking out. I'm not sure if that's just silly or it's quite funny. I spent a little bit more time trying to flesh out this monster or creature and deciding what I wanted it to essentially be. But this is basically what the actual creature looked like with its arms and legs on. It was able to stand, so that was a plus, I guess. I mean, we're looking for silver linings here, people. This creature was able to stand, but I didn't want to leave all of these other pieces just hanging around. I wanted to try and make something out of it. So I thought, what if I went for some kind of like Godzilla theme, where this was like the big creature, and I built like a small cityscape for it to be attacking. I thought, that's interesting, that could be something. So I tried building like a big building out of a square. That didn't really work. So I took all the red bricks that I had and I built this kind of weird shaped building out of that. And then built this crane with all the tan pieces on the bottom to be some sand, and that worked a bit better. And I was able to build this little skyscraper out of the Technic beams and the wedge plates. I don't know, I guess I was inspired or something by all the many skyscrapers found in Chicago. But anyway, I think I'd pretty much finished the build. It may have been thanks to a couple of things we won't speak about due to American laws, but the build was pretty much there and I was quite happy with it. I like the monster, I like the skyscraper. This one got quickly destroyed. But from what I started with, I'm pretty happy with this. The next day was Friday, and I thought it would be a good idea to scope out some of the competition. So I found the guy who I gave the bag of hell parts to, who actually was displaying this super cool roller coaster at the convention, and asked him a little bit about how the bag was going.
How's the bag of parts going?
I'm sorry.
The bat pod?
The
What the heck am I gonna do with that?
that's the fun, is it not?
I still have not come up with a use for that yet, but it's going.
Yeah?
It's going.
Did you at least get good parts in the other bag?
I did actually. Yeah,
Right,
they actually match up pretty well.
That's good then.
A lot of kind of spaceship parts, car parts. So I'm either gonna go that direction or go totally different.
Yeah.
I'm gonna still prototyping a couple things, general things.
I think my plan is to use your Bionicle parts to build like a mini like Godzilla type thing, and then build like a micro-scale cityscape to go with it.
That's sick.
I think that's the plan I'm going for. Not me saying this, knowing that's exactly what I did because I'd already built it the night before.
That's awesome. I was hoping with those few Bionicle parts, someone would use those for something.
I'm doing something with it.
Awesome.
It's gonna be good.
Glad
it's gonna be good.
Glad to hear it.
Oh no, I gave it to someone who was really nice. That makes me feel so much worse about everything I've done. Oh, I'm such an awful, awful person. At least it seems like he took it well. So, here it is, the next day, Saturday. This was me basically trying to find where all the Dirty Buildster builds were, because they were somewhere around the convention. Eventually I found them, and there was quite an interesting mix of things altogether. There was the sign basically explaining the rules of Dirty Buildster and what was going on, and here were all the different things. And there were some wild builds in here, like this dragon's eyebrows are made out of axle arm pieces. The quality of the builds overall were really, really high. See if you can spot the build that included all the hell parts in it. Spoiler alert, it's that one. I was actually really impressed with what they did. They built two like vehicles out of it. One, I'll be honest, one was a lot better than the other. This one in the back, this like flyer thing, was really, really cool, and I think they did a great job out of it. The other one, not so much. But come on, I can hardly expect a masterpiece when these are the tools that I've given the poor guy. I mean, like, literally none of these pieces go together. So the fact that this is even something that can hold together is an accomplishment in and of itself. I had to quickly reconstruct the build after it being kind of smashed to pieces in the bag to re-display it on the table. So that took a while, and while destroying the red building, I realized I could actually put it underneath the city to almost make it look like it was lava flowing through the city. And then basically the mouth of the monster could be like lava flowing out of its mouth. So I guess that was some kind of story. Now, I had all of these parts left over, and I felt like I needed something to be fighting the monster to kind of give it that story. I know it sounds like I'm on Lego Masters here or something. I needed some kind of just overall focus or theme to be looking at. So to build something to be fighting this monster really was the play. So at the end of it all, I just had 10 pieces out of the 200 that I didn't end up using, and I was able to build a fourth part to this model. This, my little hero character. I am so proud of how this came out because his arms and legs and most of his body is built entirely out of these wheel axle pieces, meaning he's not very sturdy and he wobbles around a lot. He's got a nice torque on him. Like all of these Technique pins smashed through the like centers of different wheel axles, and I put all the purple studs in to give him some kind of color scheme. Like, he doesn't stand, but I'm really proud of it. So I can move this all in together and display the final scene, the battle for the city, or whatever I ended up calling it. You can see there's not a mock card here just now as I display the model. That's because I couldn't come up with a name for it yet. I ended up calling it the Attack of the Lava Leviathan, and ended up writing a way too long description about it in bad handwriting because it was on like a chair that I'm not going to read out. You can pause it if you want to try and translate that. Now, I took quite a lot of time coming up with this name, I know, but if you remember a bit earlier, there was a very specific detail.
And midnight Saturday is the deadline.
I kind of kept putting off coming up with a name for it, so much to the point that by the time I'd actually written this card down, it was midnight on the Saturday. So I had to get this mock card next to my mock within 15 minutes, otherwise my mock wouldn't count and this would all have been for nothing. Slight issue, it was World of Lights at this point, which meant that they turn off all the lights. to show off all the cool mocks when the lights are on. Now this is cool to see all the mocks. However, when you're trying to look for a very small selection of mocks where there are no lights near at this time of night, it's difficult. So I went on a hunt to find the Dirty Buildster mocks amongst the sea of other things going on there, and there was some scary stuff. I mean, I walked past a Psycho mock that was playing the theme tune. So yeah, that was pretty scary. I thought I was getting tracked down by some kind of murderer. Eventually I did find the Dirty Buildster mocks, and I was able to place my mock card right between the battle for one more sleep to figure out who the winner was. And before I knew it, it was the Sunday, and the Dirty Buildster winner had been decided, and the winner was, drum roll please, not me. In fact, it was the mock directly in front of mine, so let's just call it second, because I was the closest mock to the winner. I'm not sure if that's how it worked. This was the winner here, this kinetic fish. I mean, they built a moving model out of 200 random pieces. Of course it won. It was fully well deserved. But yeah, great job. What I showed you yesterday was actually this mock falling down. They built a mech themselves out of what I gave them. And this looks even cooler when it's all stood up. It's great. And I even found the mock that was built with the guy who I gave my other bag to. So that was quite cool as well. You can see, as I said, this is a lot more color coordinated. But anyway, that was Dirty Buildster. It was unlike any form of Lego build I'd ever done before under such limited constraints. But I had a lot of fun doing it, and I will definitely partake next year. Will you? Maybe, maybe not. But if you want to see what I try and build next year, or any other type of Lego video, subscribe. See you later.